So,
Do you think that they would like to have a computer for the seniors available in that gathering room so they could have access to online stuff?
oh, I have no idea the answer to that.
Okay.
I mean, it could be.
Because before I had gotten 3, which we left down at the lodge on the canal. And I could probably get a decent computer if you think they would like one in there.
I think maybe some of that, you know, when people respond to what more they would like to see, that might come from this, Lord, but I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. Or even in talking to people, no one's mentioned that to me.
At the meeting, they're talking about getting a listing of people who are already involved at the center, at the rec center, so that they can send out all of these things you're talking about, the pancake breakfast, the trips, the whatever, so they can get it out to a couple of hundred people in a minute. And with possibly having a monthly, the first of the month they would have a listing of all of the activities you could participate in. And I know that the treasurer is very interested with another woman in getting more public activities. You know, they're having a Mother's Day pizza thing free to all moms and,
Yeah, I saw that
and
in
stuff
the
like
store.
that. So, I mean, they're trying to work from that end. It's separate from what you're doing with the survey.
But
money.
they wouldn't get all of that from the scoreboard? Wouldn't there be a duplication of?
Oh, there are so many things that they want to communicate, that not necessarily just what classes are being offered.
But I know that that pizza breakfast was mentioned, the Mother's Day was mentioned in the scoreboard. So I think all the things that the Sweden Senior Association is involved with is in that scoreboard too.
They spoke about just getting a mailing list of people who want to receive information about what's happening.
For the senior demographic you're talking
Yep.
about.
Just the seniors.
But that's a different issue than the question of a computer. And I think the concern there is, I mean, we've got, with the library, I mean, I don't know that we want to be, if people are looking for access, that's something the library does, and I mean, we may want to be careful not to step on their toes in that sense.
I agree.
But maybe we get a computer. I mean,
Well,
I'm not
it's
opposed to the
it's
idea,
not
just
a competitive thing. It's for people who do go to this rec center, who don't have a computer, who maybe don't get to the library because they have no transportation.
Oh, I see.
That's all.
Yeah, we do have transportation up there.
Yeah.
All right.
There was probably, in fact, I know there were computers at the lodge in the canal.
I got
right?
them.
Yeah, so.
And Patty, I don't know if you've ever thought about this with Joe, but Parma has a rec board made up of people from the community of, you know, all ages who use their community center in all different ways. And these people bring their ideas. I don't know how often they meet, if it's once a month or, you know, I don't know that. But they bring their ideas to the board, and they also volunteer at the rec center in Parma as part of their being a board member. But just food for thought for new ideas to.
It's an advisory board?
I don't know. It's an advisory, and I think it helps. They think up ideas and just an all around kind of support for the rec center.
Advisory boards, I couldn't tell you from my experience, they're always interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't
I
think
will
we want
take
to
that under
relinquish
advisement.
control to a board, but I mean, if the idea
No,
is
I don't
just
think that
a brainstorming kind of a board.
the town of Parma runs
Yeah.
the community center, but
like
the people
having a
have
booster
involvement in it.
Right.
That
Oh,
are-
booster club's okay.
no.
But we do have a foundation there too.
I will keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. And I'll try to, I have a number of things here, but I'll try to move quickly. I had lunch with the mayor and with Supervisor Underwood. It was an excellent lunch. We're going to continue to do it monthly, and I'm glad that Clarkson is involved. I think it's a positive thing to have the three municipalities working together, or at least discussing things monthly. I brought up the question of the library again because that has sort of stagnated. I think I mentioned to the board that I asked Carl to put together what he would consider a dream budget, what he's really looking for. If he wanted all the bells and whistles, and then for the boards to try to consider it before we proceed with any sort of mad rush towards a district. I think we should try to see if the municipalities can work something out. and there's been no movement on that. And so one of the things I suggested to the mayor and to the supervisor was that potentially, once Carl's put that together, that we have a joint meeting with all three boards. It'd be a bit of an undertaking, we need a big room, that's for sure, but just a thought to try to discuss some of the issues in a joint context.
I think that'd be great.
So just a thought there. The mayor made me aware of a couple of items. There's an RPO concert here in town on July 26th. It may even occur on a barge in the canal. Sounds
Right.
pretty neat. So that's coming up, as well as something called Shake on the Lake, or, well, I guess it's a branch, or it's Shakespeare. So it's acting. It happens down maybe Silver Lake or another lake somewhere nearby. But that's coming to town here, and there'll be a performance on the 28th of July, and I believe it'll be in front of the Morgan Manning House.
Oh, they did that once before.
Yeah, so that's coming
Yeah.
back. And then Supervisor Underwood from Clarkson asked some questions at that luncheon about the idea of court consolidation. And I told him, well, great idea, it's not a new idea. It's something I remember when I was on the board the first time that I was put on that committee. It never really went anywhere, but I mean, I'm not particularly, considering what I know of the court, I'm not in great favor of it, but it's not something that I think we should simply ignore. He's very interested in it. Apparently, the Hamlin supervisor I've talked to, he's going to present it to his board. He's not in favor of it, but he was going to present it to his board. But I guess, is there any? I don't want to really take that project on. Is there anybody who wants to at least inquire or work with Jerry Underwood on that?
I'm the liaison,
So would you be willing to work with Jerry
Yeah.
on that? Okay. So I don't know what it would I know some of it. There are online resources regarding how you consolidate courts, and the towns have to be contiguous. It's a accounting separate, it's a real undertaking, but if you'd add that to your list, and just maybe contact the supervisor and see what next steps might be. Or if anybody from Hamlin's been put in a similar position to work
Okay.
with the three of you, or two of them. The Farmers Museum, I talked to Mr. Gretzinger a week or two ago regarding really the need for a liaison, and Deputy Supervisor Musbeck would like that, the privilege of doing so, so he will be your liaison to the town board, okay?
I think we can put up with them.
Well, if not, let me know.
My wife asked for 45 years.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Better a piece of cake, then.
The lodge grand opening will be on the 14th of April,
Oh, right.
and that is a Saturday. So with the details that I could provide is that the entire open hours, or the hours for this open house, will be 10 to 2. It's four full hours. From 11 to 2, Jimmy Z's will be providing food, and that'll be, of course, free to the public, whoever comes. So that it will be a catered event. Dignitaries, and there will be remarks, and dignitaries will be told to, if possible, please be there at noon. The foundation, our community foundation, who raised significant funds to fund the furnishings, they will be presenting a check to the Swedentown Board that day at noon. Lisa and I are working on a lengthy invitation list that will include everybody that should, surrounding municipalities, and our senator, our assemblymen, our legislators, on and on and on. So we will have a table there, a recreation table for sign-ups for active programs. We thought it was a good time to promote our programming, and also to take reservations for the lodge, because hopefully it'll spur some interest there. And we're thinking of some sort of it'll be relatively minor, but a prize raffle, maybe 3 free months of weightlifting at the community center, or T-shirts, I don't know, whatever we can think of to give away that really doesn't jeopardize town finances. So those are the details I have at the moment. I think it'd be a great event, so hopefully the entire board can make it, and I think it'll be very positive. There is a Lions event, 2nd annual Brockport Service Club Recycling Challenge, March 1st to April 2nd. bring recycling cans and bottles to the Bottle and Can Retrieval Center. This was passed on to me from the Lions Club, of which I'm a member. I was asked to share that, so I have information on that here if anybody would like it. We're going to work on a proclamation related to the library. I'll have that for us to look at next week, just in recognition of somebody's service over there.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, you could probably guess who. I met with Dick Moy of the town of Clarendon regarding, because they've had great success in moving water around their town, and talked to him at length about the different types of piping and the advantages of plastic versus the steel. And so I'm going to make sure that we also have plastic quoted in our study for Mr. Oberst. So just so you're aware of that.
That's good.
I met with him maybe last week, or was that 2 weeks ago? Last week. There was another weather event on March 2nd that happens on Fridays apparently. And so the snow was scheduled to taper early morning and sort of taper off. And of course our highway employees had everything, the roads clear and passable, and as did Todd and Roger. So with their assurances, I decided it wasn't necessary to close. Okay, so that's the reasoning there. We've had a tremendous response of letters in support of the Owens Road changes, RTS, and then the speed and sidewalk issues on Owens Road. I don't know, we probably have, between the three issues, there's probably 15 letters by now. That's a significant number. Jay Grasso is working on a proposal for the sidewalk grants. He was hoping to have it to us today, but I don't think it arrived, at least not before the meeting. I did speak with a resident, and also, Lori, I thought more about your mentioning last time about a sidewalk, at least on the north side of 31 all the way down to Walmart. And because that's all private property, and we also have the issue of there being no sidewalk, and they have to close, I thought perhaps a good middle ground on that was to, if you look from Owens Road all the way to 19, there are only a couple small gaps where there's not sidewalk. A chunk in front of Spurs, a chunk in front of the plaza, and
Right.
whatnot. So my thought is maybe with this Owens Road project, as we undertake that, if we throw in those couple chunks on 31, we may be able to sort of complete a U. From Oxford Street, if the village decides to pursue a grant there, down Owens Road, which we're undertaking, all the way to 31, and then 31 west, all the way to 19. So to just fill those couple gaps would probably not cost much, so we asked Jim Oberst to add that to the study. It's a very small thing. But a resident mentioned that as well, is how about connecting all the chunks we have? There are only a couple gaps.
Probably same resident I talked to.
Could be, but it's a matter of a few small chunks, and you have that whole loop done. I think very positive. Let's see, a couple more things. Next snapshots will arrive at homes on 3/24, so next weekend, week and a half. Canal Court meeting, we all attended that. I met with Captain Doug Comanzo, C-Zone. He's the new captain on this side of town for the sheriff's office. I met with him today. Very interested in what we can do. I asked him to step up the speed patrol on Owens Road until such time as we actually have some changes along that stretch. His deputies spent a lot of time in the firehouse parking lot.
They set a lot of radar up there in the last 3 months already.
Yeah.
And then I go out
Have
that
they?
way every day.
Okay.
Yeah, they-
I've never seen them pull anybody over, so. And actually, there are a lot
The
of people.
village sits in the
I was gonna say the
little
village
parking
sits
lot.
over there too, I think
They
it's
stay
outside the
busy over
village.
there.